Bare necessities, simple. It's cold and wet outside. Perfect day for turning the heat up and putting on the hemp robe. Yeah, I know. Sounds like I'm still recovering from the flu, which I kind of am. Merry Christmas! Oh, wait a minute. I gotta do the secular version of Merry Christmas. That's Happy Holidays. This thing over here that looks like a steak is actually petrified wood, by the way. You know, I've never posted affiliate links. Never have. And I continue not to post affiliate links. Making recommendations for Christmas. Everybody keeps asking me about the Fujifilm X-T5. I said, when are you going to review it? My answer to that is, well, why don't you call Fujifilm and tell them to send it to me for a week or two to test drive. Yeah. Company treats me like a redheaded stepchild. You know, I made more money than God, so be it. Actually, if I had the X-T5 right now for review in my hands, I wouldn't be recommending it, no matter how good it was or was not. Because, believe it or not, I actually do care. And, by the way, I did make a deal to make like a short video. I love giving stuff away for free. I didn't bring it in this video. To these really nice merino wool socks. This company sent me 200 pair of them to give away to the homeless. And I love, love, love to give stuff away for free. So I'm going to go downtown, actually a couple of places that I know of where the homeless are, and also to a couple of church entities that give stuff away to the homeless. But I'm going to personally pass out a bunch of free socks. I find that really, really enjoyable. I love giving away free stuff. But recommendations for stuff for Christmas. I think 99.9% of us have enough gadgets and gizmos in our life, and unless you need it for work, I don't recommend buying any gadgets or gizmos. So when it came to the X-T5, for example, that everybody keeps asking me for the review on, no matter how good it was or was not, I wasn't going to recommend it for Christmas, rather for the holidays, if you will. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever holiday you celebrate, it doesn't matter to me, of course. Neither should it. I'm not interested in religions or belief systems or getting involved therein with other people. What about buying things that we actually need for survival? Now, this is just me speaking, and it has a lot of pluses. Very few minuses, because raw land takes care of itself. What about your family pulling together and buying a few acres? Of course, there's a lot of different attributes to look at in purchasing land. You know, things to consider, things to avoid. Expelling your debts. What secures you and your family's path going forward as we enter into 2023? It's been a rough year for me. Like I said, my house is paid for, my car is paid for, and yet I still, struggle to make ends meet. I know everybody out there is having a hard time. At least a lot of people are. And what about changing it up rather than, thinking of gadgets that we don't need? What about tools for survival? Highly recommend water filtration, power. I mean, you could call that a gadget. I sold one to my buddy. I had two of them. Akmo power stations. I still have two actually in the back. I had three total. My buddy bought one from me, and he's got a place up in the woods with no power, and his power has gone out. He's been extremely praiseworthy and wished he'd bought one earlier. Same is true of me. Even my dad's power went out, and he has his own business. He actually had to come over here and borrow mine to get his computer back up and working so he could continue working. I have the large Akmo power stations. I don't care if it's an Akmo or not. I'm not actually pushing a specific product. One of the ones I use for traveling around in my vehicle, I brought it out here, is a 600, actually 268, I forget, an amp hour. 268 watt hour unit like this. This is just a smaller lithium ion unit. You can actually also plug a power station into this. It has USB inputs and also the standard connectors that occur on a lot of the portable power stations. Let me show you one thing over here that I have several of, including a couple at my cabin. I think I need to back up a little bit to show it to you. You can see how thin it is. This is a 100-watt solar panel. I have a couple of these hooked together. It goes into my power station. But this is not what I have at my cabin. I have 340-watt solar panels, a couple of them. They stand about 5.5 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. Relatively heavy. They're not made for moving. I've got them tied down so they won't blow away in the wind. Right now for the winter time, since I'm hardly ever up there, unfortunately, because I have to work every damn day, I have them inside the cabin, but they're available for easy to set up. These are actually held together magnetically, as you can actually see here. These two panels together. This is 50 watts on either side, 100 watts total. Oh, I love these. These actually weigh hardly nothing. Can fit in your vehicle. What about considering, readjust my robe here, considering, it's hard getting over this flu, considering water filtration, safety and defense tools, as a holiday gift, something that the whole family could appreciate. Like I've said, I've had an enormous amount of people from the UK and from Europe tell me that they're struggling with wondering to know how they're going to either feed themselves or keep themselves warm this winter. There's a lady started up a GoFundMe for her tiny little pizza store in Louisville, Kentucky. Her utility bill for her tiny little hole-in-the-wall pizza store went from something like $1,600 to upper 2000s just for her power requirements for her tiny pizza shop. So she actually had to beg for money just to keep the electric on so that she could bake pizzas and struggle to stay alive. I've never posted affiliate links. I'm not selling anything. I've done thousands of reviews of different cameras and lenses and other gear and never ever once have posted an affiliate link. Something that I'd consider quite important and lasts for 30 years are Mountain House meals. They're good for 30 years. Non-perishable, long-term survival food. Also sprouting seeds. Survival tools. I'll let you figure out what survival tools refer to, depending on your country, what you are or are not able to purchase to protect you and your family. What if this year, and hopefully it doesn't have to happen next year, we consider the primary fundamental things that keep us fed, keep us warm, and keep us alive? I mean, I could sit up here and do a gear review, but I don't think most of you need it, and I don't need it either. Just don't. People are struggling to make it, struggling to feed themselves and put gas in the tank of their vehicle. Why are we considering such things? It's good to turn off all the evils in this world that have been going on for the past few years, and they are evil. Considering something to splurge on, and I understand that, but what about putting on something that's pragmatic for the rest of your life, something you're not going to get bored with, something that could bring you endless joy? Nothing has actually done that for me other than wisdom, but the only worldly thing that's done that for me has been land. Maybe instead of blowing money on unnecessary stuff, your family could agree on some place where you could, enjoy the land. I mean, you can go harvest your own Christmas tree on it, for example. I mean, I could do that right now on my land, not that I want to do that. I mean, I'm against unnecessarily chopping down trees, of course. Something that makes you happy is endlessly valuable. When it gets to be summertime, you can romp on the land. I go and play in my creek and look at the fish, and it's very, very wonderful to be grounded on your own land, walking barefoot through your own land. Just don't watch out for ticks and chiggers and leeches. There are a lot of things to consider in the purchase of land, but Isn't this, since World War II, the one time that all of us should be giving the middle finger to, gadgets and gizmos that are worth basically nothing a few months later? We're probably bored to hell with them. What about things that's going to secure your life, make it better, more simple? What about a fuzzy blanket, an emergency supply, maybe a solar panel? I mean, relatively cheap. Never going to go out of style. Fuzzy blanket's like 20 bucks. You ever notice how much better you sleep underneath a fuzzy blanket? They're those really, really soft polyester synthetic blankets that you can get at like Costco or Home Depot. Ross or TJ Maxx are like $20, $24. They usually last a couple years before you have to pitch them. They're not as soft anymore, but I mean, for 20 bucks you get your money's worth out of it. To me, that would be like the perfect Christmas set of things to consider for yourself or someone else. Is something that keeps us warm and fed and safer. What about security items for a loved one? It's horrible to consider stuff like that because, crime has gone up in a lot of parts of the United States. What about, if you care about your loved ones, something to keep them more safe and secure? And considering gifts this year of water filtration and power and defense tools, and I already have land. Why not be pragmatic for 1 year? Maybe 2. Last year should have been pragmatic as well. I just can't see people buying electronic gadgets. When everybody's going through what they're going through in this world. I just can't see it. I can't see it. Can you? I had the XT5 to review right now. I don't think I'd recommend it at all, regardless of what it is or it's not. Are you so rich that, that you're pushing away everything that's going on in the world for consideration for another electronic gadget that you probably don't need? Nobody's traveling right now, at least nobody that I know of, and I'm certainly sure as hell not. It's just something to consider. What about something that brings your family closer together? What if, for example, the family pooled together its money instead of buying irrelevant trash, they bought a few acres of land? Depending on where the land's at, say 5 acres or less, $10,000 roughly, 10,000 to 20,000 bucks. Needs to have all the correct attributes: water, location, yada yada, mineral rights, so on and so forth. There's a lot of considerations in buying land. I recently made a video about 2 weeks ago about all the considerations in buying land. What about that? Something that can make you money is safety and security for your family, something that you can all enjoy together. You go on Craigslist and buy a used trailer for like 6,000 bucks. There's tons of them all over Craigslist. Plop that down on your land, assuming it has no restrictions. How about that? That would be the best Christmas gift in the world as far as I'm concerned. You tell me what you think. I just don't think anybody should be buying any electronic garbage for Christmas. I just don't. What I want is a much larger wood-burning stove for my cabin, actually. Mine is kind of really crappy. That's actually what I want for Christmas. What do you want for Christmas? I know someone could ask me that. There's an Ashley stove on Amazon. It's a really good stove. It's just sheet steel. Not cast iron, it's sheet steel. It's $1,000. Even though it's really cheap, it's about 1,000 times better than my wood-burning stove. You could cook on it, it keeps you warm. There is practicality. I'm not going to get it for Christmas, but that's my Christmas wish. If Santa's asking, I want Santa. I want an Ashley wood burning stove as an upgrade to my cabin. Happy holidays to you and yours. Let me turn off my little LED Christmas tree here and call it a night. Get you live stream. Lux Veritas. There we go.